I want to talk about a perennial general manager or front office of the year candidate, Howie Roseman in Philadelphia. Doing it again. Now, last year, it fell apart. Year before, Super Bowl. Last year, fell apart. We had Fletcher Cox on the other day, and he's just like, man, I don't know. I try to find out we just see the tip of the iceberg. How big was the iceberg underneath? And he said basically, he didn't say anything that,
I know.
I guess out the door, he's not going to spill the tea like it was a mess last year or whatever. Right. But he's just like, I don't know, man. I couldn't put my finger on it. And both he and Jason Kelce, as they head off to retirement in different parts, unknown, are all in on Sirianni. They love the guy. And the only thing that he said that kind of got me sort of furrowed brow was when he said about Big Dom, the security chief, being ejected from the sideline for the rest of the year. And the report was that Sirianni was more volatile on the sideline because Big Dom was there to kind of keep him, under wraps. And I'm like, really? Because Sirianni was like barking at people in the stands when Big Dom was there. But apparently he's talking about he was less calm around the staff and players. And he basically said that Big Dom plays a big role on the sideline, and he did miss him.
Yeah.
That was his answer.
That was wild.
But other
he
than
was
that,
very serious about it, too.
Other than that, it does appear that Howie Roseman is taking, self-scouting and taking stock. And what he does is he gets pass rushers and he gets Bryce Huff from the Jets. This kid, he had 10 sacks and 21 quarterback hits and played just 42% of the snaps. And, I guess the Jets figured, well, that's because he only played 42% of the snaps. He might not have the same production level with more snaps. I don't know, because Howie got him for 3 years, $51 million. And this guy can ball out. He can ball out. He had his 21% rate of quarterback hits was the most of anybody in the NFL last year with 250 or more snaps. More than Micah Parsons. They get him. Certainly if they're going to ditch Hassan Reddick or Sweat by the end of the day, as they're rumored to be doing. But they kind of don't have to either. Because the guy knows what he's doing with the cap. And, I just had said in my ear, he just locked up Jake Elliott for 4 more years. The kicker, who doesn't seem to miss very much.
No.
But here's the crazy thing. The guy who's on the cap the most right now, the largest cap hit for the Eagles coming into this year, is Hassan Reddick at $21 million. And that's chump change based on what you saw from everybody else. I mean, you want to put up on the board again what the largest cap hits in the NFL are right now? I mean, there they are. $21 million for the Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody else on the screen right here, top 5 cap hits, I mean, it's a far cry from the lowest amount of quarterbacks and non-quarterbacks. Keep in mind the Dak and Daniel Jones figures of $59.4 million is Dak's cap hit presently, and Daniel Jones $47.1 million. Chris, get out a calculator, would you please?
Calculator.
You do that on your phone. You want to pop that on your phone?
What do we got?
Okay. This is unbelievable. I mean, this is truly unbelievable. Jalen Hurts' cap hit this year, $13.5 million.
Okay.
A.J. Brown's cap hit this year, $12.4 million. Devontae Smith's cap hit this year, $6.4 million. Saquon's been added to the mix, has he not? You want to guess what his cap hit is? I'll give you a question. Is it more than the entire aggregate of the 3 guys I just said, or just the highest out of all 4 of them? What would you guess?
I'm going to say the highest of the 4 of them.
What would you guess, Chris? What would you guess?
32.3 for those 3 guys.
Okay, what would you guess for Saquon?
I'm going to say it's that, 32.3.
How about $3.9 million?
What?
How?
I don't know. I'm not a capologist. I don't play one on TV. I don't know what it means for the credit card down the road, but it doesn't matter because you add all those three guys up, add 3.9 to that mix, and what's the grand total? What's the grand total, Chris?
Plus 3.9.
Yep.
Boom. Is 36.2.
Less by $11 million of Daniel Jones's cap hit to the Giants.
Of course.
We won't even do the math with Dak's near $60 million hit. Doesn't matter. I don't care what the credit card is next year. It's Howie Roseman telling the Eagles fans saying, last year, it sucked for me too. But we're going to go get Saquon from up the road, and we're going to turbocharge Hurts, Brown, and Devontae Smith while they are cheap on the cap. Lane Johnson is $15 million on his cap. That's the highest cap hit of any offensive player.
Wow.
All right? And you know Howie's got his eye on a couple of Georgia Bulldogs in their pro days today.
Always.
Okay? So you know there's going to be, I bet you he'll draft another running back. He's going to find a center to get even remotely close to filling Jason Kelsey's shoes. He always gets pass rushers. He's going to look for a defensive tackle. You know he's going to get it covered. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sitting here and maybe somebody capologist that's out there on Twitter or whatever. You have no idea. The cap hit next year, it's going to be terrible. Who cares? If the trophy's in the case, who the hell cares? Or they're back in the NFC championship race. Who cares? And they're going to be in that mix, one would think. Because I didn't even read you the rest of what he did and has done in free agency. You know, re-signing a ton of their own. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson signed a 3-year deal. So Saquon is coming. And I told everybody, just like what they did in San Francisco, where, okay, Kittle and Ayuk and Debo, that's good enough for some. No, let's get Christian McCaffrey and turbocharge this thing. That's A.J. Brown. That's Dallas Goedert. That's Devontae Smith. With Jalen Hurts, arguably more talented, one would think, physically, maybe, than Brock Purdy. Just throwing that out there. I know last year sucked. Again, that said, here comes Saquon. And all it costs is $3.9 million on this year's cap. Okay.
I feel like Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad, like sitting there crying, like he can't keep getting away with this. Like, how? He can't keep getting away with this. The Eagles and Howie Roseman. I don't understand how they're doing it.
I don't know. Well, it's figuring out the cap, being smart about it, getting out of contracts when you can, and putting talented players, difference-making players on the field and going for it. Hope you get the right coach. Hope you have the right coordinators this time around. I think they kind of checked those boxes in a way that they didn't last year. We'll see. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.